Hello and welcome to now the Rustic Spirit podcast. I am your host, Stacy Lee, as my earbuds fall out of my ears. I am so happy to be back in this new rendition of my podcast. And I'm so happy to have you guys here with me. Um, I'm just very excited to be back here. Hi, Susan. Thanks for joining. Um, there you are. Hi, Susan. That's the second McIntyre I've spoken to today. And tonight, I have a few things that I'm going to want to talk about. I've had a couple people reach out to me and want to know about the crystal bracelets that I do. And there's the other McIntyre. It's all about the McIntyres tonight, huh, guys? Oh, and there's Jenny. Hi, Jenny. You see my shirt? Jenny, she runs a podcast as well. I'm wearing her shirt right now. Unturned Pages, her and Russ. Please go check it out. You need to go check out their podcast. It's amazing. They have some great stuff on there. So, but yes, all about the McIntyres tonight. Kevin said, they're laughing. I miss you too, Jenny. You need to move to the East Coast. Seriously, move to the East Coast. So, but yes, I'm representing Unturned Pages tonight. So tonight, I figured I had a lot of people request, and actually when I'm out doing shows and I am doing my vendor shows and stuff, people always ask about my bracelets. And Jenny, if you want to put Unturned Pages, a link in the comments for people to follow, that'd be great. But people ask about my bracelets and the crystals and crystal healing, and I use crystal healing in a lot of my in my Reiki work and also in making those bracelets. And people have been asking about the like how to wear them, when to use them, what is for what, and stuff like that. So I thought I'd jump on here tonight a little bit, and we're going to talk about the crystal bracelets. And then I have a special guest, which is my husband, but he is actually a paranormal investigator and paranormal enthusiast. And he has a lot of information and a lot of stories in the cryptid and alien genres. So I think he's going to be very interesting to talk to about some of his stories and his beliefs in that alien extraterrestrial type world. He is, Gary says, or Jenny says, yeah, Gary. We keep talking about that, but Russ would probably kill me within a week. Oh, well, you can move to my East Coast here in Pennsylvania because I am 6 hours from Russ, so you don't have to see him all the time. So, but you could come and live in Pennsylvania, Gettysburg. Come to Gettysburg. That's the place to be. Actually, Waynesboro. That's the place to be. So I wanted to talk tonight about crystals and crystal bracelets and stuff like that. Thank you all for joining me. If you have any questions, leave them in the comment. Why are you being mentioned? Because Jenny is moving to the East Coast. I've been trying to get Jenny to move to the East Coast, and she said that you would probably kill her. And I said, well, just come near me and that you won't be too close to Russ, but close enough, if that makes sense. Yes, Jenny has put her, I guess, Linktree, the podcast in there. Russ is moving to Alaska. That is where I want to move to, is Alaska. I would give anything because we're a big cryptid family. We follow Bigfoots. We follow, well, here on the East Coast, we got the Jersey Devils. We have the Albatwitch here in Pennsylvania. You have Mothman. I'm from Maryland, so we have, is it Goatman or Dogman? Something like that. I can't remember, but there's so many cryptids, and Alaska is like the place for cryptids, the undiscovered wilds of Alaska. You don't need to know. So, but first we're going to talk about crystals and how to use them, when to wear them. And I had a couple requests for this. So I am going to say right now, before we get started, is that I am not a expert in crystals. I'm not going to claim that I'm an expert in crystals. And I will explain my reasoning and why I don't want to say that about myself, even though I work with crystals all the time. But the reason, so if you just go do a Google search, on what does this crystal mean, and then look at all of the Google search and say you're going to do. Some of them have like these very common meanings. Like everybody says that rose quartz is focused on the heart. Oh, my phone's in here. I need to get that out. Everybody says I'm a crystal guru. No, I'm not. I will not call myself a crystal guru. I will not. Um, I know a lot about crystals, and I know a lot about the earth's energies that are in within those crystals. I am more scientific. I've studied geology my entire life. So I could tell you like whether it's a feldspar, whether it's a rock, whether it's a mineral, that's I could tell you that. But when it comes to actual studying crystals, there's not a lot of consensus in some things. Yes, rose quartz. A lot of people think that obsidian. A lot of people have these very set meanings of what they are here and what they're healing for. But it all comes down to intention. And that's what I tell people. And I know, Susan, you just the other day at the bash, you came to me and you're like, I need a crystal. Can you see what's right for me right now? When I did that, and I did that hands on, and I tried to figure out what crystal was for you, and the turtle came up. Excuse me. There was a lot of like, I didn't think about, oh, this crystal's for this. I didn't look because I think you got the blue apatite. Um, I didn't think like, oh, this crystal was meant for this, and like this crystal dictionary type thing. I'm like, what is best for her? What does she need right now? And I tell people when they come to my table and they see all of my bracelets, and I'm like, what are you feeling? What are you drawn to? That's what the energies need. The crystal's going to know what you need. The crystal holds energy. So a lot of these crystals are actually minerals. I'm going to tell you that first of all. Minerals are what form rocks. So the crystals aren't rocks, they're minerals, and that's a combination of minerals depending on whether it's I don't know I have dyslexia and I don't know how to say this word. Genius, that's not how you say it. Rocks, which means they're formed by volcanic pressure or pressure of the earth, or whether they're my mind is drawing a blank right now. See, I'm not a guru. So those minerals form these rocks. So quartz is actually a mineral. Multiple quartz together can form a feldspar. So that's the thing with it. Like these crystals, there's so many different meanings. So if you're going to use a crystal, I would say go with your intention first. Go to a crystal shop. Just walk around. What draws your attention? And everybody has like certain crystals that they always love. Like I have my rose quartz tower right here. I have my big selenite wand, and then I have my obsidian tower. And these are my three crystals that I love to have around me all the time. Selenite, if you look at that, I love this tower. The energy of this tower. Selenite is the highest vibrating crystal. It is a formed calcite. Is that what? See, my brain is not working tonight. I just literally got done reading and jumped right on. Crystallized form, gypsum. That's it. Gypsum. That's the word I'm looking for. It is a gypsum. So it's these tiny little sheets of stuff and tiny little sheets of rock. I know you guys have seen some selenite that is very smooth, but raw selenite looks like this. And it's kind of like these tiny little sheets of crystallizations. And it's very high vibrating. Obsidian is another one that obsidian is from lava. It's made from directly from lava. It is a rock. It is not a mineral. It is glass, actually. Obsidian is actually glass. So I like to use obsidian in protection, and I think most people will agree that obsidian is great for protection, and it reflects negative energy. So if you look at a glass reflects things. So it's going to reflect negative energy. Whereas if you look at the, hello, Jerry. Oh, there. Why are my things keep falling out of my ears tonight? If you look at the black tourmaline, it's a very similar structure as it's a gypsum as well. It's a very similar structure. This is going to take in negative energy, absorb it, and transmute it into positive energy. I have to find my earbud. Give me just. There it is. It fell out. Not that anybody's on here for me to listen to. I don't know why I need them on. So that's kind of what obviously when I'm making my bracelets, I will make the bracelets and I will look up different meanings and look at I do have a crystal book and a crystal Bible that I use and what their meanings are. And I will look up the meanings and I will make things. Like, for instance, I have this bracelet right here that is, I call it Heavenly Match. It's amethyst and selenite. And selenite and amethyst together, they support that mental clarity and they cleanse the aura. Selenite is great for cleansing auras. And I use it all the time when someone is on my Reiki table. So you put those two together, I call it a heavenly match. So I kind of come up with these. Hi, Brooke, that's your bracelet. This is Brooke's bracelet. She bought that at the Bash, and I'm resizing it for her. So that is kind of my thing on crystals. There's so many different types out there. There's so many different, and it's not about what Google says that crystal is. It's about what is your intention. So if you want to go and you want to heal the heart and you're having a lot of these heartaches and you want to grow and cultivate self-love, it is a common census that rose quartz is for that. I more think it has to do with the color of rose quartz because it's pink than it does have to do with the actual properties. But a crystal guru might come on and call me wrong. That's just how I do things. And I agree, Ashley. Ashley just said selenite is something anyone who is new to this should get. So many different uses. Selenite is self-cleansing. You don't have to put it, and we'll talk about that in a minute about crystals. Is self-cleansing. You don't have to put it out to cleanse. It will cleanse your other crystals. It is the highest vibrating crystal. Someone who is either a non-believer or doesn't know, has never worked with crystals can usually feel the energy from selenite. I know that when I got this wand, it called to me. I bought it in Gettysburg at Sunrise Soap Company. And I walked in there and there it was. And it called to me. I picked it up. And even just now, picking it up, I can feel the warmth. I can feel it. Same with, I have a little selenite tower over here. Like, I was unpacking it when I bought it because I used to sell crystals. I was unpacking it and I just feel the warmth off of it. So you can usually get someone to feel the energy off of selenite. So I do agree with you, Ashley. So yeah, where is it? Oh, Moldavite. That is a big controversy out now. We'll talk about that in a second. So where is everybody watching from? I see Kevin just said he's watching me on YouTube right now. Yes, please follow me on YouTube. Give me a follow on YouTube. So I pulled my bracelets out because I think that was the real question, is like, how do I use these? Where do I use these bracelets from? Where do I wear them? When do I wear them? How do I wear them? What should I do with them afterwards? So I obviously create my creative self starts making these. I feel called to make them. I will. It's a very spiritual time for me when I make these bracelets. Okay, what do I need to make? What are people needing? And usually when I make something, I'm like, okay, well, that's person needed that, and someone will come up and be like, oh God, this is just for me. This is exactly what I needed. So you have bracelets for protection. All of us in the paranormal world should be wearing some. Right now, I'm wearing my obsidian on my arm to reflect negative energy. Especially if you're doing ghost hunts, you should have. Yeah, we'll talk about moldavite in a second. Ashley just says, Do not get moldavite without understanding that something causes more harm than good. And if you don't understand it, absolutely. Moldavite is a very, another, just like I said about selenite and how this is like beginner's crystal. You should all have selenite. Moldavite, you should be very aware of what it is, very aware of your intention of why you have it and what to do with it. I like, it can be dangerous. It can cause, I've heard people, it cause accidents. It's caused things that yes, it's like a greenish stone. Moldavite is a very powerful stone. It's also very popular right now. It's also very expensive. So it's very trendy. But moldavite, just like opal's another one. Like, there's a lot of lore and legend. This crystal healing didn't just happen. This is something that's been happening for ages and ages and ages. But moldavite's going to draw in spirits, whether they're good or bad. Okay. And it is going to, it's kind of like Mercury retrograde, which started yesterday. Moldavite's kind of like Mercury retrograde. Would you agree with that, Ashley? It's kind of like Mercury retrograde. It is going to be, see, I need a Jenny here to do my comments. It is going to give you what you need, whether you want it or not. It is going to put you through what it needs to put you through, whether you need it or whether you want ready for it or not. It's like, if it's ready, it's going. Like, it's kind of like Mercury retrograde. It's going to make you look back. It's going to make you look back on things that you didn't take care of. Well, moldavite's going to force them to come, and it's going to force things. Like, I've heard people bury it in the yard like that. You have to bury it in your yard when you're done. When you're not using it, you bury it in your yard. That's what I have heard. Some people do it. It's a stone. No, it's not. It is a meteorite. It is not like, it is, again, a mineral. I guess a meteorite would be a mineral. I don't think it's really a stone. That goes back to that science and that geology of it. But moldavite is very, very powerful. Jim Warwick uses it. He gave me a piece of it. Use it wisely. I know, Jerry, I trust you. Like, you're not new to this world. So yes, I would definitely be careful with moldavite. I do not have any moldavite bracelets. First of all, I can't afford to buy the beads. I would never, and I don't sell opal either. Opal is another one. It can be cursed, and it can show you things that you don't want to see, and you're not ready to see. And opal is, there's some legend about that you should never buy opal yourself. You should be given to you. So, well, you didn't lose it, Jerry. You know what happens. Come on, you work with crystals. You know what happens. You don't lose it. And that's another thing with crystals. Like, you never lose them. You lose them on purpose. Like, a bracelet will break. Well, you're done with the energy. You don't need it anymore. You lose a crystal. I always like to say the fairies take it, but you don't need it anymore. Like, you were done with that energy. So don't replace it. I think I just had a conversation with someone over the weekend about, he bought a obsidian palm stone off of me, and he kept it in his pocket, and he kept it in there for protection all the time. And then all of a sudden one day, he every night he would come back out, put his wallet, his keys, and his obsidian stone right on the table, and it was gone. It was just disappeared. And I said, well, and he wanted a new other one. And I was like, well, I said, meditate on that first. Whether you need another one, it might have done its job. At least that particular crystal. And that's another reason why you should cleanse your crystals, because if they're done with and their energy is spent, you need to put them back out, and you need to put them in the sun. I know a lot of people say put them in the moonlight. You don't always have to. The sun will work as well. You can put them in the sun, and it will work as well that way. You can put them in the moonlight. You can put them like a full moon, out on a full moon. You can put them in holy water, Reiki water. You can just put them in like some, I love, my favorite thing to do is to get creek water, because that's my element, and that's where I feel a lot of my magic comes from is in the creek. So yes, I will talk about that in a second. Don't put certain stones in water, but I will put them in water, like my bracelets and I will dunk them in water. But Ashley was just saying, like, Don't put certain stones in water. You put this, well, it's selenite wand in water. Like, yeah, if it gets splashed wet, this is a big piece of selenite. It's not going to go away, but it will. It's a gypsum. I don't know if you know what else we use out of gypsum, but it will melt. um, Selenite, tourmaline is one. Quartz is fine in the water. Sometimes you'll find them in water. I'm trying to think of other ones that are not good in water. Um, some forms of jasper, like you don't want to put them in water. You want to put them out in the sunlight or the moonlight, depending on what kind of energy you want to put into them too. Like I love the sun. I know people. I love the moon, obviously. Love the moon, but I love the sun for cleansing crystals, because the sun is going to bring in more of an action power than the moon, where it is definitely released. So you want to. I would like to leave it out during a full moon. Leave my crystals, my bracelets, all of them out during a full moon, and then leave them out during that sun the next day too, because you're going to release whatever's in them out, and then fill it back up with some positive energy with the sun. But you could, I have a tower like this where I put my bracelets on. I will, at night, that's where they go. So they get cleansed. Selenite is a cleansing crystal. So you could put your other crystals on here and it will get cleansed on here. So that's what. Any other questions about cleansing them? I think, there we go. Jenny's gave us some angelite, azurite, fluorite. That's it. That's the other one. Lepodolite, selenite, malachite. I actually just picked that up too. I was like, malachite are good. I want to talk about malachite real quick. Are not good for water. So malachite is the number one faked stone. There is, excuse me, so many people that will fake stones. Not fake them, but they're not genuine stones. Malachite is the number one. If you go somewhere and you see a malachite bracelet and it is a very even polka dots on there, it's probably fake. If it's very cheap, it's probably fake. Malachite is very expensive. It's very rare. So be careful with your malachite. So bracelets. All right, so we have, my name is Rose, and I'm here for the first time. Welcome, welcome. Thank you for coming for the first time. So bracelets, where to wear them, how to wear them. Let's talk about some left-right body energy. So your right side is the sun side. This is the giving side. I want to give, and I'm actually wearing these on the wrong side because I want to receive protection. So I give energy. What if I want to give to people? A lot of times I'll wear positive stones on here, or if I'm doing Reiki and I want to make sure I give protection to them. So you want to wear on your right hand what you want to give and give out and send out to the universe, where your left hand is what you want to receive. You want to receive into the universe. This is your feminine side. This is your masculine side. And I know it looks backwards to you. This is right. This is left. So your right side, left side. So again, I'm not a crystal guru. I'm not going to tell you which bracelet, which side. Like if I'm with you and you're buying a bracelet from me, I'm going to sit here and be like, okay, this is where I think you should wear it, because I'm going to feel your energy and I'm going to feel where that needs to be. And that's where you should. If you feel like tonight, I put this on my right hand and maybe I needed to give protection to somebody somewhere. And now I just switch it to my left. So you want to kind of, again, go back to what's in here. And all of this stuff, all of this magic stuff, like there is so much out there nowadays. It's becoming very trendy, very popular. So many different things. Read old books, read old stuff on this, where it comes from. Not these new blogs that come up, from like, crystalguru.com or, all this other things. You want to really look at what you want from it. What are you drawn to? How many of you have gone into a crystal store or even come to my shop and seen a bracelet or seen something made of crystal and you just felt so drawn to it. Like you were walking around the store and you kept going back and looking at it and going back and looking at it, like, and touching it. And you felt like, oh, like this is like something's about this. Um, and like just felt like drawn to it. That's what you need to pay attention to. Sometimes you don't need to know what the energy is that's coming off that crystal. Sometimes it tells you what you need, and you can feel it. We are made of energy. They are made of energy. These all come from the earth, and the earth holds its own energies, and it all depends. Like you could have obsidian made from this volcano and obsidian made from this volcano, and depending on what was going on in the world at that time, it depends on the energy that obsidian is going to hold. So this piece of obsidian might feel different than this piece of obsidian. So use your intuition. Use what's inside here. What is calling to you? What is don't use what's up here. Use what's in your heart and your gut. And what should I do? And I have 11 likes and 11 viewers, and that was really cool looking up there, seeing 11 right now. So someone just asked a question. Rose, is a white crystal to do with love, or what is a white crystal? So there's multiple different types of white crystals. Selenite is one of them. The love crystal is like, it depends on what you mean by love. Self-love, heart healing love, sensual love, which is garnet. Garnet is a great stone for passion and romance and stuff like that. Your quartz is your cleansing, your sunstone, like not sunstone because that is actually another stone, but that is your that is another white crystal that really doesn't have much to do with love, although it can. There's no hard and fast rules when it comes to this. But most people, when they think of love crystals, it's the rose quartz, which can sometimes seem white. This is a very light colored rose quartz. Can sometimes seem white. You have white jade, which is a very harmonious stone, which can also work in that heart chakra center. But I'm thinking you're thinking of rose quartz. So Jerry asked, where is my store in Gettysburg? I don't have a store. Are you talking to me? I don't have a store in Gettysburg. I am completely mobile. I go everywhere. I'm usually, everything's online, and then I go to different shows every weekend. So, okay. So that's kind of what it is with bracelets. And like I make some, like here, I want to show this one. This is the money magnet bracelet. And these are some of the stones that I actually keep inside of my money box when I'm doing shows. So you have your tiger's eye, your citrine, your pyrite, and your green aventurine. Green is the color of money. What do you feel is something you need? Hold on. One thing at a time, ADHD. So this is all stones that have been used for abundance and luck and money. A lot in feng shui. Like these have been used for a very long time for those purposes. You have a lot of newer stones too that are coming out that are like, and then some stones have all kinds of different names. All right, so John asked, what do you feel is something we all need to know to survive Mercury retrograde? So I was born during a Mercury retrograde. And I feel like Mercury retrograde is really great for me. I really like it. A lot of things come, but I'm also not afraid to face my shadows. And that's what Mercury retrograde is about. It's kind of looking back. So if I would say something that you need to know, I don't know if you're talking about crystal wise or just in general, that we all need to know to survive Mercury retrograde, is that when something comes up that is like slams you in the face during Mercury retrograde, don't just try to fight it. Don't fight. Okay, what is this trying to tell me? What is this bringing up that I haven't addressed in the past? Take some time and think about it. And then we'll go back and where, how is that presenting in my life? How do I need to fix. It's kind of like to fix things. So I'd say that is the most advice, or you can just hide under a blanket for, the 6 weeks, 8 weeks, and not go out of your house. That's always the other option. So, but it will come to you. It will find you. It will come knocking on your door. But it's not that bad. I tend to not be the person that are like, oh no, it's Mercury retrograde. I would also say that if computers and communication, because Mercury rules communication, I'm also a Virgo. Right now, this is probably going to be the hardest one. It's in Virgo. Mercury rules Virgo. It is the communication signal. So we're going to be all messed up with communication. So just have patience and know that when you're communicating with others, whether it be your partner, whether it be friends, whether it be someone at work, that you want to take a step back and think before you react. That's my other piece of advice. So I agree with Ashley, Tiger's Eye for retrograde, because Tiger's Eye is great for courage. It is great for lion type energy, especially because this retrograde is in both Leo and Virgo. It's coming through both of them. So I feel like Tiger's Eye is like the Leo stone, and it's great for that energy to that courage and strength and power. So I do agree with that. I don't know if I could think of another. I would say citrine. Citrine's great to keep positive things in your life, to keep that sunshine in there. But if you really want to use, and here we go to bring Moldavite, if you really want to use this Mercury retrograde and get into the dark shadows, is to get into the dark shadows. I need some moderators. To get into the dark shadows, you want to get some Moldavite during Mercury retrograde, but be careful with that. All right. Any other questions before I bring our guest on and talk about some cryptids and aliens? So, Rose, my name is Stacy Lee. Nice to meet you. Thank you, John. And I use fluorite, clear quartz, smoky quartz, amethyst stored in retrograde. I could see the quartz and the smoky quartz. I love smoky quartz. But everybody's different. Everybody's different what they use. Hi, Susan. I'll help you in the back end. Thank you, Jenny. I'm going to make you moderator. All right. So, any other questions about bracelets? Anything you need to know? Anything you want to know? Okay. So now, without further ado, Mr. Sitting over there in the corner, you ready? My guest is right there. He's been here the whole time. He just hasn't been on camera. So I am going to introduce him. It is, most of you know who he is. Gary is my now husband. We got married over during the Gettysburg Bash. Everybody's going, Gary. Come on, ready? Gary. Most of you know Gary as my husband, but Gary is my partner in crime in this paranormal world. He has a lot of it. He's always the one that has been fascinated by Bigfoot. He's the one that got me into Bigfoot, fascinated by extraterrestrial. Jenny's going, Gary. He is a paranormal investigator. Sorry, there's stuff in your way. You can't get your chair over here. And he is my king. So as soon as he sits down, as he's roaming around, and he's going to turn the air conditioner off because he gets cold. All right. So everybody, this is Gary. You don't need to hear. Everybody. You don't need to hear anything. I'm going to put the mic closer to you though, so that they can hear you and hear everything we're talking about. So we need to go. Susan says we need to go Bigfoot squatching. Yes, we do. We Gary and I actually go all the time, probably more than you guys even know we do. We're always out there in the woods. We are avid hikers. We are we're actually going in the 24th to off the grid in the mountains, and most likely be doing some Bigfoot and squatching, and alien and star watching. Shauna says, Gary.
Gary.
Jenny says, I need to give you to Haunted Indiana State. I need to go to ISS. I want to go there so bad, Jenny. The ISS.
Space Station?
No, it's Indiana State Sanatorium. They have all three there. Where it's at, they have the ghost, they have the extraterrestrial, and they have, I'll give you some information on it. And they have Bigfoot. So, okay. So, behave, Gary. Jenny says behave. And Rose says congratulations on both of you getting married. And then Ian's on here. Hi, Ian. Hey, yo. And then the other one says your BFF is sleeping. He's going to be sad he missed the show. Jeffrey.
I was sleeping too.
Yeah, he was sleeping too right before it. I had a reading right before this. I had a client right before this. And then I'm like, yes, Jerry, I do readings. I had a reading right before this, a mediumship, and I'm like, where's Gary? Where's Gary? And I had to run upstairs real quick. I was almost late getting on. So I run upstairs. I said, hey, are you awake? Like, you're supposed to be my guest. So anyway, Gary is here. So Gary, I want to ask you, because I know a lot of the questions, but I don't think I've ever asked you this. What let's talk extraterrestrial. What first got you into, actually I do know this story. I would like you to tell it. What first got you into aliens and extraterrestrial and sky watching?
A lot of dreams I used to have when I was younger. Being a sky watcher when I was younger, and seeing strange things. So as I got older, that just kind of pushed me toward it more.
So what kind of things did you see when you were in dreams? Did you feel like you were abducted?
I used to have a dream that where my driveway was, there was a holly tree. And something would be pulling me off the ground and I would fight it. But I never made it like 12, 15 foot past the ground.
Okay.
In my dream.
Or
was it a dream? Young. 4, 5, 6. 5, 6.
Okay. Yeah. So elementary school years.
Yeah. Maybe even before that.
Okay.
I don't know.
Okay. Now, you had something happen to you close to here. Was that in your teenage years? I'm going to call it, you call it Pay Road. That's not what it's called.
No, that was off of that. It was actually
well, up in that area, you had something happen to you here.
Starview area.
That kind of changed everything for you, and that kind of confirmed your beliefs. Can you tell that story?
The lights?
Yeah, like you were driving down.
Oh, I was coming back from archery hunting, and came up the hill, and the corner kind of goes to the left, and I seen these 3 lights. And yes, I'm going to say typical triangle, typical. Maybe 100 yards apart, each light in the shape of a triangle. And whatever it was, barely moved. I mean, barely moved. And it was about 100 feet off the ground, and it made no sound, no noise, no nothing. And I remember I looked down at my clock on my car to see what time it was. There was another car coming because they seen it. I think they were checking it out. But I chickened out, and I I just left because it was that strange.
Mm-hmm.
And I was like,
And how
okay,
old were
time to
you?
go.
You are
I was in
29,
my
so you
20s.
you're in your
Yeah.
20s. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. Now, what is your belief? Like, do you believe that aliens are like on another planet? Do you believe they're like interdimensional and they just appear? What are your like? What is your genuine general belief about aliens?
I think they're here, but not from here naturally. Um,
Like, where are they from? Do you think they live on another planet, or
somewhere's out there.
do you believe they live on another planet, or do you believe like there's these
Oh yeah,
multiple dimensions
there's
where they're
gotta
like
be something
interdimensional?
because you gotta take, let's see, whatever they travel in, you gotta have
Susan
some
says
kind
they're
of
in
mineral or
politics.
something to make their
Susan says
craft,
they're in politics.
you know. There has to be somewhere to make the materials, whatever they want to call it, for their things.
So Susan says, interested in UFOs and the unknown since watching Close Encounters as a kid, always looking up and searching. So do you remember that movie, Close Encounters of the Third Kind, or whatever it was called? Do you remember that?
Vaguely, yes.
That's like our era. I think we're all like basically the same age. So like we grew up with that, with the that type of movie, and the I guess just coming off of Area 51, and
Oh yeah, yeah.
I am not, I don't have much information about extraterrestrials. I only know what he knows. I don't study them. I do look up the sky and I'm like, oh, that looks weird. But I don't have a lot of information. Like I don't have a lot of knowledge on that. I think you have more than I do. I think you're just being very reserved right now with some of your knowledge.
Maybe. And also one time, and this was, I was in my 40s, maybe 30s, late 30s, early 40s. Me and my son were sitting on the deck. We were both, and you and I and him seeing things already, and we were both looking in the same direction. Whether it was round or tic tac shaped, I can't say that, but it was thicker, but looked like a tic tac. But it could have been oval. I don't know. It was transparent. You could see through it, but you could see it. And we seen it go over the roofs. And we both, after it happened, talked about it, like waited for an explosion to happen, but nothing happened. And then we both looked at each other and said, "What the was that?" So that was another time that, yeah, it wasn't like dots in the sky or something like that. That really, was more proof, more evidence. We'll say.
Yeah.
So,
Was that the time you had the laser light you were shining up and they
no,
reacted to that?
no.
We'll talk about that in a second. But the moderator said there's no more arrogant statement than it's an infinite universe and you're alone. Exactly. Like
Mhm.
if you believe that we have an infinite universe, you cannot believe that we are alone. There's definitely stuff out there. I do believe that. And whether Susan says that, like, whether they're in politics or not, well, there's a possibility of that too. Um, so you and I, when we lived over in Starview, which is in Pennsylvania, it's outside of New
Which
York.
was the same area I seen the
The
three
same area,
lights
yes.
was exactly where we seen what you're going to say.
Yes, and that's why I'm bringing that up because the same area that he saw those three lights in when he was in his 20s, when he was archery hunting, we ended up moving to that area, and we lived in an old farmhouse. And were we outside? Is that what we were out at a fire or something, like sitting on the porch because that's what we do. And we saw this light, like it was like floating across the sky. It wasn't going up.
Oh, yeah.
It was going like what is that? Vertical, and then just like go out.
Well, it did that like, hard 90.
And it did this
hard
like this
90 around. Like this hard 90.
We actually have it on videotape. We sent it to one of the one of the podcasts, I forget, this is a long time ago. We sent it to one of the podcasts or somewhere.
Somewhere,
I think it was
it
one
was
of
a
the
long time
podcasts.
ago.
We sent the video in there because it was just, and I think that was my first experience where I'm like, okay, that was weird, and that might have been an alien. That was the first time I think I saw that. I think I have a little different belief than you do about aliens. Um, I do feel like you, you feel like they have planets and they're on their own planets and stuff like that. I and not that that's not the case. I do feel like there's lots of planets out there. Like there's got to be life on other planets. Whether they can get to us, I'm not sure. But I do feel like a lot of this extraterrestrial myth is interdimensional. I do believe that they can travel through dimension, but it's beyond our scope of thinking. I really do. I think it's beyond of what we can reason.
Mm-hmm.
Even if they are on
No,
another
I
planet,
agree. Yeah.
perhaps they are so intelligent and they use more of their brains than we do, where they can just think and be here. Kind of like astro traveling,
Mm-hmm.
What are your thoughts on that? Aliens astro traveling.
I'm torn on that one. I don't know. Maybe there's
Susan, Susan says she saw some strange light formations a few months ago around Rocky Ridge Park at sundown. I'm assuming you mean the Rocky Ridge Park near us in York County, because that would be the same area we're talking about when we saw those three lights and where we saw the anomaly in the sky.
was it one light or three in a row?
We saw strange light formations. It wasn't right now. Everybody's seeing the Starlink.
Yeah, I was gonna say
I don't know
Starlight.
if I buy if that's Starlink or not, but yeah, that's that same area. There's a lot there. You have a theory of why. Sorry, I have to stop this for a second. Brooke says she saw an alien at the bash. He was wearing a Michael Myers mask. He was very unusually tall, wasn't he? Anyway, a triangle. Susan saw a triangle at the, the Rocky Ridge. But anyway,
That would be the same area.
yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
Anyway, what was I saying? I was asking you something before we got into that. That's where mine goes. That's ADHD. What was I talking about? Because she brought up the Rocky Ridge thing, and you were talking about
We were talking about interdimensional and traveling and different beliefs.
Yeah.
And
Yeah. So, alien abductions. Do you believe they're real? Oh, that's what I was saying because Susan was talking about. There we go. That's the ADHD comes back. Because she saw it Rocky Ridge, we saw it there. You have a belief on why we see a lot of activity around here. What is that? Why do you feel like we see a lot of alien activity in our area?
they do. Oh, because it's TMI.
I gotta remind them.
Yeah.
Why?
Well, you got TMI. You got a lot of military
We got the
activity
River.
around.
We live very close
So
to
yeah,
3 Mile Island, and also PP&L, which is an electric company.
yeah. I'm not saying that. I think TMI, yes. Anything nuclear, they are around more. Whether they keep an eye on it or what, I don't know. It's so funny.
Kevin says squirrel.
Um,
And now you know why the squirrel is my spirit animal. And then Susan says, the way the world is going, if I get abducted, it would be a vacation. It depends on what they did to me while I was abducted, because I've heard some stories. Yes, and Jerry says UFOs are drawn to water as well, and that's we're right near Susquehanna, literally. I think a half air mile. Susquehanna is
Yeah.
about a half an air
Yeah.
mile away from us, and then we have the PPL electric plant that is literally right down the street. Then we have the hydroelectric plant in York Haven, and then right across the river you have TMI, 3 Mile Island. So you have all of these energies that are in here, and I feel like
Peach Bottom.
Peach, and then you have
That's
Peach
not
Bottom.
far
Yeah,
away.
Peach
That's
Bottom's
not
not
far
far away
away.
either.
No, no.
And then you have the what is the dam down there before you get to Peach Bottom? Why can't I think of it? It's
On
on
the
the
way there.
Susquehanna.
Mm.
But you have a lot of these things going on in our area, and we feel like that they're drawn here for some reason. I don't know whether it's like, are they coming for the radiation that was spilled over? I mean, I have to sign a form for my children to be able to take vitamin K if there's a nuclear explosion. Our churches around here and our buildings around here, our grocery stores around here have fallout shelters in case there's a neutral, um,
Nutrial.
neutral. You know what I mean? Because if that happens, like, we're all gonna like lose our hair, get cancer. But uh, are they coming here for that radiation? There's a lot of like we had the explosion in the '80s here. Was it the '80s, right? Where TMI Island leaked. '70s,
70s,
'80s.
70s, late
I'm not sure.
70s.
And I'm
I don't
wondering if
know.
like they're coming. Are they coming to take some of this radiation because they needed to fuel their ships or whatever their intelligence is? What are your thoughts?
Or
on
they
that?
just, I don't think they're here for that.
You don't think, what do you think they're here for? Why are they here? In your mind, your thoughts.
Study us.
Study us. Why?
I don't know.
You don't know.
Because they're smarter than us and we're intellectuals compared to them, maybe.
So they're smarter than us. Is that what you're saying?
Probably.
Yeah. Well, obviously, if they
Obviously, if they can
travel
do what
through
they can
time
do.
and do what
Yeah.
they do, like,
Mhm.
what do you guys think? Some reasons we explore and study other. Yeah, I agree with that. I do agree with that. I think that it's curiosity. I think we're naturally curious with what we don't know. So maybe they're just here being curious. There is a lot of controversy out there that they're coming to take over our world. They want to take over our world. What are your thoughts on that?
Maybe they've been messing with us for hundreds of thousands of years.
Now we're going to talk some ancient alien stuff because that's one of your favorite subjects is ancient aliens. This is his first real time talking about things on podcasts. I think he's a little reserved. He usually is all like this when talking about this stuff. But
Well,
you believe
look
they've been
at,
to dust before,
well,
and
yeah,
there's
look at
evidence of it.
paintings and caves and Egyptian. Look at where you go back and carvings and yeah, they've been here since man's been around.
I'd like that statement that you said. More advanced is not equivalent to intelligence, though. While they may have centuries of development ahead of us, maybe they have different resources that they can use that we can't on their planet to be able to create these flying machines. We may think widely to study that perspective will feel social advancement. Exactly. Maybe they don't have and I feel like maybe that, we have this special emotional uh, communication that maybe they don't have that. Like,
Maybe
so
they don't
here's
have
my
emotions.
theory, and this is going to get really, really crazy. You ready for this? So my theory is like maybe they don't have emotions, and maybe they're very curious because we have lots of emotions, and then we have an increased numbers in the autism spectrum disorder. I have a son who has autism. So we have increased numbers in autism spectrum disorder. And so you're hearing about a lot of these alien invasions, alien abductions, and that how they're integrating in with our species. And I wonder if that's where autism is coming from, because that is more of that alien. And that's why, like, I work with kids with autism. Like, they're flapping, their sensory overload. This is they don't know how to deal with it. They don't know how to communicate emotions. They don't know how to they really don't, they don't have empathy. They really don't know the emotional aspect of it. And then all this sensory input coming in is overwhelming to them. What if they are, and all, I I'm sure Autism New York and whatever the other autism is gonna be like, oh my God, I can't believe she's saying this. But what if they are an integrated species with extraterrestrial who they don't have the emotional intelligence that we do? So that's just a theory that I have. I'm not saying it's true. Um, so Jerry says there are paintings out west that dates back thousands of years. And then the moderator says collective species will be baffled by individual natures. Conversely, solitary species will be confused by our tribes. Yes, I isn't that the conundrum right there that you're talking about? That we have a collective species that is baffled by, we're very individualistic, but we're also very collective. Like, there is the battle of the two. It depends on where you're at. I'm from a very Spanish heavy culture where I grew up, and so it was very collectivism. It was very like of the group, not of the individual. But then I'm up here in the north now, and it's very of the individual. Um, Jason says an Egyptian hieroglyphs in caves at the bottom of the Grand Canyon. You've seen a lot of that stuff. And
Yeah,
then the
they're all
moderator
over. Yeah.
does disagree with me about autism and nerds versus evolutionary default. Um, yeah, it's just a theory. It's just a theory that I have. You know, uh, that's interesting. And then we are tribal, not collective. We survive, find the other to oppose. We are, I think, as a whole, but living in the Spanish culture, it's very collective. It is very like, if something happens to, if one of the children in the family, um, something, say they commit a crime and they do something bad, it goes against the whole family in that culture. That's where that collective culture comes from, because it's not just like he didn't just harm himself; he harmed and what is the word I'm looking for? It kind of degraded the whole family by doing what he did. So that's what I meant by that. Kind of growing up. So anyway, the ancient hieroglyphs, the ancient alien stuff, where you see these hieroglyphs of spaceships, these hieroglyphs of all kinds of different things that.
And look in the little gold things the Egyptians had that looked like spaceship, helicopter looking things from way back when.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
So here's another one that you talk about a lot. Susan, I have thoughts an Rh negative blood type. And an extra sensitivity to the unknown and paranormal, star seeds, etc. I have a whole theory on star seeds. Very interesting stuff. But we've had that conversation about Rh.
Oh yeah. I'm not going to say their name, but we know somebody very close that has that rare blood type.
Yes. Yes. Do you believe that is? What is your thoughts on that? Come on, guys, you gotta get into
I don't know if that's
think he's a
connected or
little
not.
nervous.
I don't know if I feel that's connected or not. I'm not sure. I don't know how I feel about that. I don't know. I don't know.
Okay. I don't know much about that. I'm going to say that I'm ignorant when it comes to that. I've heard some talk about the Rh negative and things like that. I remember being pregnant. Didn't we have to get I had to get tested for Rh negative or something like that?
I
Because
think they just want to know your blood type.
no, they wanted to give me, if I was Rh negative, I would have to receive something,
Oh, I
some
don't
kind
know.
of vaccine or something. I don't know. We're not
Oh
going into
yeah. I don't know.
conspiracy theory here. So,
Oh no, I don't know.
um, so if you guys have a story of um, what do they call it now? Unidentified aerial phenomenon. Is
Yes.
that right?
Yes.
Unidentified
UAF.
UAF.
Yeah.
Okay. Unidentified aerial phenomenon, or a UFO, as we call them, because that's what we believe in. Tell us in the comments, what else have you seen out there?
I've seen lights that look like stars, and it would be here, and then it would go out within a half a
Oh,
second. It
we
would
have the
move
alien guy on with us.
that far in the sky, and then it would light back up, and then it would go here, and then it would light back up, and then here, and lit back up. I've seen that. Outer Banks, I've seen.
Outer Banks, we've seen a lot of weird stuff.
Yeah, and it's because you don't get a lot of light pollution. I'm
Yes,
thinking that really
it's
helps.
the
But
limited light.
yeah, I've seen some way up that. Yeah, I'm like, all right, what's that? You know.
Well, I know, like, I remember I'm laughing because I remember was it last year we were down there and there was a launch apparently off of Wallace Island.
Mhm.
And I'm sitting there and we had no idea there was a launch. We were just in the evening and it was like dusk and we're at the beach. And here comes this weird thing in the sky. And I'm like, I gotta show you the video sometime because I literally freaked out. Like, what is this? What's happening? I thought we were dying. I thought we were gonna die. I thought the aliens were coming. And I'm freaking out. It was just a launch. Like, luckily, I'm smart enough to be like, okay, let me look up and see what's going on. But I did. I freaked out because I freak out and then I think about it. But Tim is with us.
And down
Tim
there,
is our alien expert, so to speak.
down the Outer Banks area, you've got to be careful too because you got bases down there, and people have spotted and said it was the TR3B, the Black
The TR3B,
Manta. Yes,
the Black Manta.
Black
Tim,
Manta. I
what
think
is your thoughts on the
TR3B.
Black Manta, the TR3B? I know a lot of people were saying they're seeing that, and it is a as a alien craft, and it's actually
Well,
a
it's
government.
ours, and it's
Do you think we have the
it.
technology?
Yeah, we reverse engineered it. They say it's like some kind of microwave. I'm going to use that term that comes out, but then pushes it, and it's an anti-gravity, and we have that.
Okay. Like I said, I don't know much about this. You are more of the person that knows about this. That's why I wanted to have you on, and have this conversation. Jerry Swift says a lot of paranormal down at the Outer Banks. Well, the Outer Banks in general uh, is like the pirate stomping ground. It's like the perfect. It's the graveyard of the Atlantic. There's so many um, things that somebody should have said wrecked out there. Plus, it was Blackbeard's stomping grounds and where he died. So Tim says it's you. So I can actually see it. We have something that we use. I have to look into it. Okay. Hyperactive mercury suspension. Is that what you mean by the anti-gravity? That would you just call it the
Huh?
what is the thing you just
The
called?
Black Manta
The Black
TR3B.
Manta. So
Yeah.
hyperactive mercury suspension. So that looks like, I guess, mercury, like the actual, like when you put the mercury in the like thermometers. Sorry, not very knowledgeable in this stuff. um. So Jenny says, "Have you taken away Gary's bell? Have you taken Gary's bell away?
My bell away.
Your bell?
Bell.
What bell do you have? Oh, look, you're wearing the Area 51 shirt. I didn't even realize that.
What bell?
What bell? What bell?
Oh, my ding ding. Ding ding, the ding ding bell. Ding ding, the
Oh
ding
no,
ding
it's
lady.
out there. No, I did
Yeah.
not. I did not take the. Okay.
Well, thanks for reminding me about that.
Yeah, it's
You
actually
should try
out
to
there.
get me in the shower today, so paybacks. Ding 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 ding.
So Ashley said, I swear I saw a UFO one night in the sky between my house and the neighbor's house and it scared the shit out of me. Yeah, like I think the first time I saw something, I from the night of that shit, uh, it did get scared. It's kind of very surreal and but very different kind of scared. Um, so Ian says
It's a good
potential
scaring
energy
kind of.
creating conical gravity wells, allowing for a divorce from orbital gravitational forces. I think I need a higher IQ for that statement, but no, potentially gravity. Okay, so almost like
Maybe
it's
that's what
force
he's
against
saying in
force type of thing.
big terms that
Yeah.
I didn't use.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Um, Stacy's expression. Anyway, I have a thing for expression. So it changes your life in many ways. It the modern says the Mercury system. Um, it does change your life in a lot of ways. I think the first time I saw like what I really could say, okay, that's not something I can explain. I was like, whoa! I was just taken away.
Yeah, you
With
went from thinking I'm crazy to wait a minute,
I
maybe
didn't.
he's
I
not
never thought you were
crazy.
crazy. I never thought that someone who believed in aliens and UFOs were crazy. It was just something I didn't have proof of. I needed proof. I needed to see proof. I've seen proof of ghosts. I'm a medium. Talk to ghosts. See dead people. Hey, I just had a session earlier and her husband's standing in the corner and I'm looking
You
at him.
see dead people too?
So more recently, yes, I've been seeing dead people, not just speaking to them. Um, so spiritual world, I believe in, but aliens are different. And it was like I needed a proof, and to me, that was the proof that I needed. Seeing that, and now I'm like, okay, but then I'm also a little scared of it. I watched that movie, um, M Night Shyamalan. What was that? What's the M Night Shyamalan alien movie? Anybody know? Leave it in the comments. Um, it's that movie was so scary to me when the aliens came and invaded. I think it was called Aliens,
Yeah,
right?
maybe.
No, it's called something else. Signs. Signs. Thank
Signs.
you.
Yeah.
That was a very scary movie to me. And I think that's what it is. I'm scared. I think I'm scared of aliens. I'm scared of that world. I'm not scared of the spirit world. I understand that, but I'm scared of aliens. So the moderator, Ian, says, this is Ian, says the absence of evidence is not evidence of absence. I do have the experience to believe though. It's true. That's obviously true. Just because you don't have evidence doesn't mean that it isn't real. Uh, I think I just needed to see that, but I'm scared of it. Are you scared of aliens?
No.
I didn't think you were because you go outside. This is the fucker. Oh, excuse my language. This is like it's after 9 o'clock. Goes outside and speaks to aliens and says, "Come and take me." I mean, jokingly he says that, but he wants to get abducted. You want to get abducted.
I don't want to get abducted. I just want them to take me on their
You want to go
craft
for a ride.
vehicle, take me for a ride, show me the universe, and then bring me back. Like way out there, like go way
like
out
that?
there. Then go poof, like that, millions of miles. Poof. Take me out there a little ways.
Do you think it works like that?
What?
Like they're just going to come down and be like, "Hey, Gary, you want to ride?"
No, I think they find specific people.
Ian says the same thing.
No,
it's a bit of a vacation.
Yeah.
So, yeah. What is your thoughts on alien abductions? I know that you have had a past life reading.
Yeah.
Can we talk about that? Or is that something private we don't want to talk about?
No, we can.
So, in your past
Because
life
that goes
reading,
back part to when I was feel myself coming
away
being
from the
pulled
holly
off the
tree,
ground and I
yeah.
would fight it. That's in that same time period ish and before that I was told about that.
So, you were told that you might have an implant.
Yeah.
Like she gave you the scar and the point and everything like that.
Yeah.
Like where it was at.
There's two of them.
And that you might have already been abducted. Like that
Possible. Awesome.
So that's abduction, Gary. He said about you wanting to take you away and fly you off of a right? It's abduction. No, I know. I'm challenging you, but
I don't know. I don't know. I don't know.
I don't know either because
And I still have
obviously we're
dreams.
referencing the person that gave that to you, and the credibility of that person has kind of been questioned since then.
I I still have certain dreams every once in a while too. So I don't know.
Thank you, moderator, for joining us. You have a great evening. I will see you on Sunday. All right, Gary.
But every
since
once in a
then,
while I
have
have.
you noticed any new gifts? So let's talk about that. Good
New
question,
ones?
Susan.
Not new
Good
ones.
question. No, well,
I mean, I've had gifts I always had. You know that.
I know, but that incident with the holly tree, how old were you? 4 or 5 years old.
4, 5, 6.
So let's talk about some of your gifts. You go ahead. You're going to have the mic here for a second because my bladder is screaming. So I'm going to go use the restroom, and you could talk about your gifts.
My gifts?
Yeah. Or talk about whatever you're going to talk about.
Well,
I shall return.
I'm like Stacy also. Or should I say Stacy is like me? I'm also gifted. I don't say much about it. So I think what she's getting at is that connected to maybe the dreams I had? Um, I don't know. I don't know if they would be connected or not. Um, Maybe. I don't know. Are we all, most of us, people that are gifted, did we get that from that? I don't know. Um, I don't know if they're connected or not. I want to say probably not, but you never know. Um, am I? Am I an alien? No, I don't know. Can't say I am. Maybe some of us have more. Maybe some of us have that genetics in us. Maybe over years they've genetically changed us. Um, I guess anything's possible. So I don't know. I don't know how to look into that too much. Um, it's possible.
You looking at some questions?
Sort of kinda. I was talking, and then Ashley said that. No, like
Maybe you're in it.
yeah,
So
no, like. But I was saying, maybe some of us have them genetics in us. Like maybe they have changed us over the years. Maybe not.
Parrot
I
and
don't
Gray
know.
and Zendron and mix them up, and you have us. Exactly. That is so correct. Okay, like did we have were we visited before? Did the aliens come down and mate with the Neanderthals
Or change our DNA.
or change our DNA somehow? Like there's so many theories. Tim's still on here. I think he has a lot of information up there. Jerry Swope says, "Tell us what gifts you have, Gary."
I'm like Stacy. I'm a psychic and a medium. Um, I don't tell too many people. I think I block it more than anything, or maybe I don't block it. Maybe I only open it when I really want to. Um, I do know a lot of things before they happen.
You see spirits.
Oh yeah. But I know a lot of things before they happen. Stacy verify that. But yeah, I have gifts.
Wes says He knows something that genetically made his hair disappear last week. I think that something was in a pink tutu. I think it also had a clown mask and it married me earlier that day. So some people's gifts are other people are some are curses. I agree with that. I felt that way at some point. Uh, so Susan says Rh negative blood, genetic mutation from original bloodlines, extraterrestrial. I don't know much. I haven't done a lot of research on that. What do you know about the Rh negative blood?
I've heard that from watching like Ancient Aliens and stuff. As far as researching it, no, just from watching Ancient Aliens, which kind of goes back to when I was younger and somebody very close to me that has that. Um, Makes my wheels turn a little bit. Yeah. If that theory is has any kind of correctness to it.
And there's so many theories out there, and it's like the more I study history, ancient history, and the more you see some of these hieroglyphs, you see these drawings, and you see these stuff, and it's like, wow, like that really looks like what we're seeing in here. But is it that? Isn't that pareidolia? Did we have pareidolia back then? Like, did we have like? Can we make something real just by thought alone? You know, um, have we created this alien energy by thought alone? That's something else that, you know, as an intellectual and as a thinker, like, can we create the energy? We do that with poltergeists, we do that with stuff.
But
we do it with aliens.
I disagree with that. Is there's many stars as you look up and you see in the sky, there's galaxies, and we're in a galaxy. So how could you not think there's not something else out there?
I'm not saying there's not something else out there. I'm just saying, do they have the ability to travel to us? Are they? Because I think the way that aliens are portrayed a lot is that they are superior to us, that they have higher intelligence than we do, more advanced knowledge, very much like Lost City of Atlantis, and Memoria, and like, do they? So I think, is this another spiritual kind of like godlike creature that we created that is better than us, has more advancements than us? I'm not saying that there aren't other planets that look exactly like ours that have people living on it. This universe is way too big.
Say there's 7 worlds,
but
there's 7 of us. There's 7 of us on each one of them worlds.
Interdimension.
But we're each doing something different.
Exactly, Jerry. That's what I'm saying. There's a theory that you can manifest a spirit, and we know that. Like I work with a lot of poltergeists by thinking, is there one that may be aliens too? Like, because it's between that and between. Sorry, I just saw Susan's comment. She's bummed. She keeps trying to manifest Jason Momoa and no luck. I've tried to manifest Johnny Depp and there's been no luck there either. So I'm sorry. But I mean, obviously, like that's that. We're running on 10 o'clock, so we're gonna get 10 more minutes and then we're gonna end this. But that's that. Think about that. Like that's. It's almost like this religious type of greater being that is all powerful, and they think of that. That's something as we've done since the dawn of time, not just Christianity. Like the Vikings, the Norse, they had greater beings, and every culture and every civilization had a greater being.
Well, maybe they think that's the greater being because of technology having the way they could, do things in the sky, whatever it is. Say you see a light or something, and what it does back then, they're like we are, like, holy shit, what the hell's that? So I don't know.
Jenny says, just get Gary to wear a wig and a pirate costume, and you'll have a Johnny Depp. I will post the picture of Gary as a pirate. And no, he does not look like Johnny Depp. I love you very, very much, but you do not look like Johnny Depp.
Who do you say I look like?
I think Gary looks like Matthew McConaughey. That is my opinion. He has a very Matthew McConaughey type of look. He's got the curly hair.
Oh, you like The Rock? Why don't I look like The Rock?
Because you don't go to the gym with me. That's why you don't look like The Rock. You could look like The Rock if you go to the gym with me.
He's got a short face. He's bald. I got hair.
Yeah. So, Ashley, your comment was empty. I don't know what was on there. Thank you, Jenny. What a great first episode, she said. Seeing some empty comments. Oh, is that stars? You guys send me stars. I can't see them on here if you are. Thank you. Jason, if you think other species that has the capability to travel to us from even the nearest planet, they have to be more advanced than us because we can't. Or
and maybe we're a pit. Maybe we are like a pit stop too.
Can we travel there yet? And we just don't know about it. Now that's conspiracy theory, and that's a whole nother episode. So
you can't do
thank
that.
you for the stars, loves. Thank you so much. Yeah. So Gary, I want to thank you for being on tonight. I know this was you were sleeping right before, and I woke you right up. And
I know I had a nice little nap.
You had a nice little nap. Well, now you're starting to wake up. It's like he wasn't awake at first. We got to get Gary out here more. Some of you have had some great conversations with Gary, sitting by a fire, or sitting out by the bash, or sitting out of the Hoover House. He's got some really great theories and some really great ideas in his head. I think just now behind the camera he gets getting a little shy, but we're gonna get him out there. We're gonna get him out here. He's gonna do this for him. So Susan says he has a brother named Rooster. Look him up. Gary could be a third brother. Good. Matthew McConaughey actually has a great. I listened to the audiobook out. I forget what it's called, but it's like a.
Oh, the one we was listened to on the Turnpike.
On the Turnpike.
Oh yeah, I thought it was boring. It's actually pretty good.
It was really good. Matthew McConaughey is actually really good. And just the book was amazing, and he narrated himself on Audible. I forget what the name of it is, but it's his like autobiography.
Are you hungry?
Am I hungry?
Yeah.
Why?
He always says mix the food.
The whole book was about motivation and building yourself up and coming into your power. And the one line that he remembers from it is when he was talking about having intimate relations with his girlfriend at the time, and said they both agreed that before they went to dinner and before they decided to go on their date, they would have intimate relations because it would make the food taste better, and it would make the wine taste better. Yeah. And that's the only thing he remembers from that book.
No, I remember when he stayed at the farm at the house.
When he masturbated?
No, I wasn't remembering that part. How he would sneak out and catch hell and all that.
Okay.
See, that's the only part you remember. Because you got this picture of his penis in your head.
Can you see it? Can you see it? Like, it's probably a little frizzy right now, but he's got the curly hair. Maybe it's just me. And I don't think Matthew McConaughey is that hot, but I like his personality.
He is actually pretty good.
And then Jenny said, one more question is, wonder what spirits think we are. Are we ghosts to them? See, that's a whole another episode. Like, what do you think about that?
I believe some of them know what they are, and I believe some of them are like, why can't you see me? What's going on? And I think they're the ones that That's the word I'm looking for. I don't know. I think some know what's going on, and some are like, why can't you see me? Like, that maybe it's their unfinished business.
Okay. So residual, and some people are here.
Well, there's always residual,
Yeah.
but I feel some know that they're past, and some do, but or maybe they don't. And why can't you see me? But there's ones that know they have, and they know what they are. They don't want to leave. They're having fun.
I agree with you.
They're
Actually,
having
I don't
fun.
think
They
that at
don't
all
want to
either.
leave.
So Jenny says 79 more days. I'm assuming that's till Halloween, and you're going to see us again, our Halloween weekend. And then Jason says, when's the first D&D session? Let me talk to Noah. We need to come up with a day. I'm good Friday night. We could do Friday night. I'm going to do Friday night for D&D.
Gotta get up early Saturday.
I got to get up early Saturday, so I'd have to be an early session, like as soon as you get off work, Jason. And then you can come over and we can do D&D. Let me talk to the kids. If you're good with Friday night, we can do Friday night. And then Jenny says, but what do spirits think of us? What do you think the spirits think of us?
Do all of them have personalities? Do all of them know what's?
I think when she
I mean,
means
you got
spirits,
residual.
I think she means the ones that are intelligent spirits, not just
What do they think of us?
residual. Residual energy doesn't even know we're there. So I think she's talking about intelligent spirits. What do they think of us?
I don't know. Maybe they enjoy us. Maybe some don't. Because if they know they're a spirit, whatever you want to say, and they know we're still in the human flesh, if they understand that, then they already know that. So what they think, I don't know. I think they just, the ones that might be that, and maybe just have fun with us. I mean,
I do believe there's some that have fun with us. Yeah,
yeah.
I do believe that.
Like they know their past, they know, and they know we're in the flesh, and they just still.
I think some like as a medium, and spirits come through to me. I believe that they believe. Some of them think that we are messengers, or
they are messengers.
Their ticket to be able to communicate.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I believe that. Their ticket to communicate.
There are just people just like us, just dead, so they think like we do. I agree with that, actually. I do. I think they think just like the ones that are aware that, oh, I'm dead and I'm going to come back through and be able to talk to you. I do believe that there's some that died suddenly and have no idea that they're dead. And I think Jerry just mentioned that as well.
The confused ones and very fast. Yeah, I could get that.
And they think they're still alive. I do believe that.
Like a tragic thing.
Tragic death.
Yeah. Because it wasn't their time.
Yeah.
Or maybe it was their time, but
I think it depends on their beliefs. But that's another good theory. Their beliefs. Some are good, some are evil, and some can be used as such. So I agree. Like, I think your personality when you die, if you haven't made amends with spirit, made amends, or have become enlightened, you're going to be that same personality. Ashley says this is open-ended, depends on how they died, I guess. I do. I agree with that.
Yeah, I agree with that too.
And some people saying hello. Barry, don't get your bell taken away now before I see you at 79 days. Oh, he's going to get the bell. So before we end,
that's for you, Jenny.
Sunday night, the bash was over. Everybody was gone. The house is quiet. Nothing was stirring. Not even a mouse. I forget her name. Jenny, do you know her name? If you can put her in there. They came in. She had a bunch of bells, and she's doing an experiment with the bells. Where's the bell? Give me the bell.
You're not allowed to have the bell. Neither are you, Jenny.
Give me the bell.
Gotta put
I need
tape
to show
around
them
here.
the bell. Just the bell. So they they're doing an experiment, like using this as a paranormal detector. to see if they will ring the bell. Because it's not hard, I guess.
But they don't need to
And
push the
she was
button.
she was giving belts out to everybody because she wants to, the evidence. She wants to, Catherine Hobson, um, and wants us to let her know what evidence we get, what we're getting from the bells, what we're doing. So then we get like 5 bells in our bag somehow because I'll take this bell to this person, right? And then so Jeff and Gary are.
You mean Jeff? You mean Jenny and Stacy, and then Jenny? Ding 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 ding.
So we were just bothering each other with bells all night. Those suckers rang the. Where were they? You should have put them in the trailer, Ashley. Ashley was out there with us. There's only a few of us left. I love Sunday night after the bash is over because it's quiet, the hotel is empty, and we just sit around and just have a chill night. So, um, I was too, yes. Jenny was worse. I really do. If Russ had been out there, Russ would have been taking all the bells away. So, from Jenny. Anyway, so we are at 10 o'clock. Any final questions before we end the show? I have an intro, but I don't have an extra yet. Is that how you say it? Extra? But Jenny, I probably need a moderator, so maybe next week you can help out. Sunday was so much fun. The bells was nice. It was. Sunday was amazing. We had a good time. We stayed up later than we wanted to. Gary needs his own show, Jenny says. Gary needs his own show. So, the Gary Show. So, yes. Thank you all for watching. Thank you for those who set stars. I appreciate it. Thank you, Gary, for being on tonight and giving us your theories and opinions on extraterrestrial beings.
That
in
could be a
this
10-hour
world.
conversation, but yeah.
It could be.
Yeah.
Ashley saying you should be my co-host. I know sometimes Life with Gary Lee. That's your show. It's going to be called Life with Gary Lee. So I know he's so reserved and shy and keeps to himself and so different than I am, where I'm like, hello, this is me. And that's why we work, because he brings me down to earth sometimes. But it's nice to actually, he has very smart ideas, very smart opinions. Just need to get him out of his shell a little bit. So he's like a turtle in his shell. So as I said that, Jenny's saying we're going to break him out of his shell yet. And we are. We're starting to get him out. Like I had to literally pull him down to get him on here with me. He was going to not get him. But thank you. It was very enjoyable being on here with you tonight. Thank you all for being on here. It's funny because I'm quiet like Gary and you're extrovert. I know Jeff and I are very much alike, but you were not always an extrovert. You were the one having me dancing and doing like the cha-cha slide and stuff out in the park or out in the front of the hotel. Was that Saturday night of the bash? So I've never seen you like that. That was fun. That was cool. That was really cool. But thank you guys. You guys. Yeah, Jenny doesn't believe that after the parties. Give me some drinks and it's different. Same with Gary. Gary's the same way. After he has a few drinks, he's definitely out of his shell. So maybe we'll just make it a rule. He has to have 2 shots before he gets on the podcast. Carrie, I miss you too. I haven't seen you in forever. So again, thank you all. Trying to end the show. It's the nice Irish goodbye because that's the way we do things around here. And tune in next week. I'm not sure who's my guest going to be next week. It might just be me and Gary talking about crap again. So we will go from there. And thank you all. Have a wonderful, wonderful evening. I feel so blessed. And remember to always fill your cup first. You cannot. Yes, it will be a weekly thing. Every Tuesday night at 8:30. Fill your cup first because you cannot pour from an empty cup.
That is the show for the night,
Jenny
folks.
says,
Thank you.
that is how Gary ended up at the bridge at 4 a.m.
Yeah, because my babysitters.
Good night.